welcome to Real English Online. Today we're going to be having a little look at the ECPE Speaking exam, and we're going to be focusing on part 3. Okay, so this is my favorite part of the exam, alright? So this is kind of where you and the other candidate are working together. So let's have a little look in detail, alright? So your task basically is, in part 2 you had 4 options and you were summarizing. At the end of part 2, your candidate, the other candidate and yourself pick one of your own options. Okay, so now you have 2 options left. Yeah, 2 options left. Now you have to compare and contrast these 2 options, alright, and choose which one you think is the best. Yeah, so basically you're talking about the advantages and the disadvantages of the 2 options that you've got left, and at the end of this part you're going to have to pick the best one. Yeah, so some little pointers here. Okay, you are only allowed to use your notes from part 2. Okay, so you're still not allowed to look at each other's information here, so you can see how important taking good notes is when the other person is speaking. Yeah, you are not allowed to look at your partner's options, as I just said. You don't have to pick your option, okay? So a lot of candidates who take this exam think, oh, the aim of this is to pick my option and to convince the other person that my option is better. Not at all, okay? It doesn't matter which option you pick. What the focus of this part is the candidates working together in a professional manner and picking what they believe is the best option, yeah, and working together. Yeah, so let's have a look here. Alright, so let's say David decides that he wants to do the aquarium, yeah, and Susan decides she wants the forest park. Alright, so these will be the 2 options that David and Susan will be comparing. Alright, so if you have a quick look at these, the first thing you need to do in this part is kind of think to yourself, what can I compare here? Alright, so you can see both of them talk about 1 hour by train, 45 minutes by bus, so they're talking about travel. £15, £5, so they're also talking about money. You can compare that. Stunning scenery, guided tours, wide variety of walks, new shark attraction, guided tours. So as on top of that, you can also talk about the activities that they do. Oh, you've got free lunch there in one, and anything about lunch in the other, nothing really that I can see. But so you could mention that for one, but not the other one. And then of course you've got the disadvantages, which are different. So to summarize, you're looking for things that we can compare like this. So here I've said the journey time, the activities, the cost, the disadvantages. Yeah. So in diagram form, basically, let's say David is the green here and Susan is the orange. There'll be an overlap there, things that you can compare. Alright, so let's pretty much show you how this works, alright, in turn order. So David, let's say, it doesn't really matter who starts. Let's say, whatever, it's a man's world. Let's say David starts, alright. So David will introduce his point. Maybe he'll start talking about how long it takes to reach these destinations, alright? And then he'll give Susan a chance to respond to what he said. Alright, and this is very important. A lot of candidates just start talking about maybe 3 or 4 of their points and then say to their partner, what do you think? No, okay? Do 1 point and get feedback from your partner. 1, 1, 1, 1. Work together. You should be constantly swapping turns. Alright, so David introduces his first point, Susan responds to the first point. Then Susan will pick another point, the next thing they're going to talk about, and David will respond to that second point. And you just keep going until you've spoken about all of the points. Don't leave any out. All of the points. And at the very end, reach your conclusion about what you're going to do. Yeah? So let's have a look at some do's and don'ts. Yeah? So do, work together as much as possible. Lots of expressions, ask each other lots of questions, respond to what your partner's saying. Yeah? Discuss all of the points. Yeah? Don't just take what you want and leave the others. Make sure you're discussing all of the points, and this will help you speak for the allotted amount of time. One of the biggest mistakes people will make is they'll reach their conclusion in 2.5, 3 minutes, at which point the examiner will turn around to you and say, you still have 1 minute left. And then you're all kind of messed up because you've already reached a decision. So take your time, yeah? As I've said with the next one, take your time to reach a decision so this doesn't happen. Always respond to what your partner says. As I said, it's meant to be a dialogue between you two. It's meant to be a pair work exercise. So you should always feed back to your partner, and even if you're disagreeing, that's fine, as long as you're doing it in a very polite, professional way. Never be aggressive. Look at your partner and not the examiner. This is another very common mistake because people think, oh, I'm doing an English exam, I've always got to look at the examiner. You'll actually find during this part, the examiner might actually turn sideways to you like this. And this is to stop people talking to him, okay? And to emphasize that you should be working with each other and not talking to him. Alright, so it's pair work, work with your partner. The don'ts. Don't decide too quickly. The classic, well, I think the forest park is the best option. Ugh. In the first 10 seconds. Nope. The whole point of this part is to see what your partner thinks, work through it, and reach a decision. Not just decide on the spot and then try and convince your partner of that. Be obsessed with choosing your own option. I've already covered this. It doesn't matter which option you pick. Just pick the best one for you. Think about what you have to do in the next part, which we'll get to in a minute, and choose the best option. Be aggressive in any way. Okay, as I said, it's all about working together. If you're being antagonistic and obtuse and not working with your partner and being aggressive, they will penalize you so heavily. Okay, because this is not what it's all about, and in fact you're just making things very difficult for the other candidate. Work together. You must. Don't dominate the conversation. This kind of is like what I said a minute ago, working together. Sometimes you'll get a candidate that's a lot better than another candidate in an exam. Very commonly, obviously. You have to give the other person a chance to respond, even if their English is very bad. You know, it doesn't matter. You have to try and help them. The examiners will like this. The examiners will give you more marks for this, and this is very important. You should, as I said, remember the turn taking. Do not dominate the conversation. It's a no-no. Alright? Anyway, so there's lots of things to do and don't in this part of the test. Practice it. It's a fantastic part of the test and I love it. Alright? So, thank you very much guys for watching this video. I hope it's been useful. Once again, if there are any queries, questions or anything like that, feel free to get in touch. Bye for now.